Did you know that something as simple, as fundamental, as drinking water could actually be silently working against you as you get older, even speeding up how you look and feel? We all know water is important, right? It's drummed into us from a young age. But what if the way you're drinking water, or the types of fluids you're choosing, are actually making things harder for your body, making you feel older, stiffer, less energetic than you need to be? It can be frustrating, can't it? You try to eat right, maybe you get some exercise, you take your vitamins, but you still feel that little bit of a lag. Maybe your skin seems drier than it should, or you just don't have that same spark you used to. It feels like the years are just naturally taking their toll, and there's not much you can do about it. But sometimes, the biggest culprits aren't these huge, complicated health issues. They are often hidden in plain sight, in the simple daily habits we don't even think twice about. And drinking water is one of the biggest ones. The truth is, our bodies change as we age, and how we handle hydration changes too. What worked in your 30s or 40s might not be serving you best in your 60s and beyond. There are subtle shifts in our body's signals, our kidney function, and even how well our cells hold onto water. Ignoring these changes and making certain common mistakes with our hydration can really make a difference, leading to things like fatigue, constipation, joint stiffness, even affecting our thinking clearly. It's a painful reality that these simple slips can have a noticeable impact on our quality of life. But the good news, the real secret here, is that by understanding these mistakes, these little pitfalls, you can make simple adjustments that can have a surprisingly big positive effect. You can help your body work more efficiently, feel more vibrant, and frankly, help slow down some of those visible and invisible signs of aging that dehydration can worsen. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 of these common water drinking mistakes that can inadvertently be aging you faster after 60. We'll look at why they happen, what they do to your body, and most importantly, really easy, practical ways to fix them starting today. These aren't complicated overhauls. They're small tweaks that can make a world of difference in how you feel day to day. So please, make sure you watch all the way to the end, because there's something we'll discuss that might genuinely surprise you about your hydration habits. Let's dive right in and tackle the first, perhaps most obvious, but also the most frequently overlooked mistake people over 60 make with their water intake. This first one is simply not drinking enough water throughout the day. Now, you might be thinking, well, I drink water. But the key word here is enough. And what constitutes enough can be a moving target, especially as we get older. And often, our perception of how much we're drinking doesn't match our body's actual needs. You see, as the years go by, our body composition changes. We tend to have less lean muscle mass, and muscle holds onto water better than fat. Plus, our sense of thirst can become less acute. That strong signal you got in your younger years, the one that said, "Hey, grab a drink, you're getting a bit dry." That signal often becomes weaker, like a dimmer switch turned down low. So, you might not feel truly parched until you're already well on your way to being dehydrated. This is a critical point. Waiting until you feel thirsty is often waiting too long, especially after 60. What happens when you don't drink enough? The effects can be subtle at first, easily dismissed as just getting older. Maybe you feel a bit more tired than usual, a bit sluggish in the afternoon. Perhaps you notice your skin is drier, less elastic. Constipation becomes a more frequent, uncomfortable issue because your body is trying to pull water from anywhere it can, including your digestive tract. You might experience more muscle cramps, especially in your legs at night. Headaches can become more common, and here's a big one that often goes unrecognized as a hydration issue: dizziness, or feeling lightheaded when you stand up too quickly. Severe dehydration can even lead to confusion or disorientation, which can be quite worrying for both the individual and their loved ones. sometimes even mistaken for other health problems. Think about your body like a garden. If you don't water it consistently, the plants start to wilt. They don't function properly. Your cells are the same. Every single process in your body relies on water transporting nutrients, flushing out waste products, lubricating joints, keeping your organs functioning smoothly, regulating body temperature. If you're not providing enough, the whole system slows down, becomes less efficient. And yes, it can absolutely contribute to that feeling and appearance of aging. So, how do you make sure you're getting enough when your thirst signal isn't reliable? The old 8 glasses a day rule is a decent starting point, but it's really just a general guideline. Your individual needs depend on many factors we'll touch on later. A more practical approach is to make drinking water a consistent, almost automatic habit throughout your day, rather than relying on feeling thirsty. One simple, actionable step is to start your day with a glass of water. Before your coffee, before your tea, have a full glass of plain water. This rehydrates you after several hours without fluids and kickstarts your system. Keep a reusable water bottle with you throughout the day. Whether you're at home, running errands, or going for a walk, seeing the bottle serves as a visual reminder to sip. Aim to finish it a certain number of times by the end of the day. For example, if you have a 500 ml bottle, maybe you aim to drink 4 of those, which gets you to 2 liters. That's a great target for many people. Another easy way to integrate more water is to pair it with existing habits. Have a glass of water before each meal. This not only boosts your hydration, but can also help with digestion and even manage portion sizes. Have a glass when you take your medications. Have a glass while you're watching your favorite show in the evening. These little triggers make it less about consciously remembering to drink and more about building it into the rhythm of your day. Don't feel like you have to chug huge amounts at once. Steady, consistent sipping is much more effective for your body's absorption. It's also helpful to pay attention to your body's output, specifically your urine. This might sound a bit personal, but it's a really good indicator of your hydration level. If your urine is consistently pale yellow or almost clear, you're likely well hydrated. If it's dark yellow, you probably need to drink more. This is a simple, daily check you can do. Addressing this first mistake, not drinking enough, is foundational. It impacts everything else. But it's not just about the quantity. The quality of the fluids you choose matters just as much, if not more, as you get older. And that brings us to our second common mistake that can age you faster after 60, relying on sugary drinks, excessive caffeine, or alcohol for hydration. You might think, well, it's liquid, right? It counts. And yes, technically, these beverages contain water, but they also come with baggage that works against optimal hydration and overall health, sometimes significantly. Let's start with sugary drinks, sodas, fruit juices with added sugar, sweetened teas and coffees, energy drinks. These are perhaps the worst offenders. They flood your body with sugar, leading to spikes and crashes in blood sugar levels, which isn't good for energy or long-term metabolic health. But in terms of hydration, the high sugar content can actually be counterproductive. Your body has to use water to process that sugar. Plus, they offer very little in the way of nutrients compared to plain water. Consuming these regularly contributes to inflammation in the body, which is a known driver of aging processes. They add empty calories that can lead to weight gain, putting extra strain on your joints and cardiovascular system. That sugary soda might feel refreshing for a moment, but its long-term effects are anything but hydrating and youthful. What about caffeine? Many of us enjoy our morning coffee or tea, and in moderation, caffeine can have some benefits, like improved focus. However, caffeine is a diuretic, meaning it encourages your body to excrete fluids. If you're having 1 or 2 cups of coffee or tea a day and balancing it with plenty of water, it's usually not a major issue. But if you're drinking multiple large cups, or relying on caffeinated beverages as your primary fluid intake, you could be working against your hydration goals. That afternoon slump you feel might not just be lack of sleep. It could be a touch of dehydration exacerbated by the caffeine wearing off. Also, caffeine can disrupt sleep patterns, especially if consumed later in the day, and poor sleep definitely contributes to feeling and looking older. Then there's alcohol. Alcohol is also a diuretic, and its dehydrating effects are often felt quite strongly, leading to that familiar headache and fuzzy feeling after even moderate consumption. As we age, our metabolism slows down, and our body's ability to process alcohol can change. The dehydrating effects might be more pronounced and last longer. Regular alcohol consumption also impacts liver function, sleep quality, and can interfere with medications, all things that contribute to accelerated aging. While enjoying a glass of wine or beer occasionally is fine for many people, relying on alcohol as a way to relax or as a regular beverage choice instead of water is actively working against staying well hydrated and feeling your best. So, the mistake here is choosing these less than ideal fluids instead of water, or in quantities that negatively impact your hydration status. The simple fix is to make plain water, or gently flavored water, your primary beverage. If you find plain water boring, try infusing it with slices of lemon, lime, cucumber, or berries. Herbal teas, caffeine-free ones like chamomile, peppermint, or rooibos are also wonderful hydrating options. If you enjoy coffee or tea, try to have a glass of water alongside it, or alternate between your caffeinated drink and a glass of water. Save the sugary drinks and alcohol for occasional treats, not daily staples. Imagine swapping out your daily afternoon soda for a glass of sparkling water with a squeeze of lime. It still feels like a treat, but without the sugar and calories, and it actually hydrates you. Or maybe switching from a second or third cup of caffeinated coffee to a calming herbal tea. These small changes might seem insignificant on their own, but done consistently, they make a huge difference in your overall hydration and how your body functions. It's about choosing beverages that support your body's hydration needs, not detract from them. Now that we've talked about the importance of drinking enough and choosing the right kinds of fluids, let's move on to another crucial aspect that many people overlook, especially as they get older: how and when you drink your water. This brings us to our third mistake: drinking too much water all at once, or drinking large amounts at the wrong times. You might think, well, if drinking water is good, chugging a big bottle must be great. Right, not necessarily. While it's important to get enough fluid overall, trying to consume a huge amount of water in one go isn't the most effective way to hydrate, and in some cases, it can actually be detrimental. When you flood your system with a large volume of water rapidly, your kidneys have to work overtime to process it and excrete the excess. Your body can only absorb so much water at a time for hydration. The rest is just quickly eliminated. It's much more effective to sip water consistently throughout the day, allowing your body to absorb and utilize it gradually. Think of it like watering a dry plant. A gentle, steady pour is better than a sudden deluge that just runs off the surface. Furthermore, drinking large amounts of water at certain times can disrupt your routine and even your health. The most common example here is drinking a lot of water right before bed. For many people, over 60 nighttime bathroom trips are already a concern, disrupting precious sleep. Drinking a large glass or two of water in the hour or two before you go to sleep significantly increases the likelihood of needing to get up during the night, fragmenting your sleep. As we know, poor sleep negatively impacts everything from mood and cognitive function to physical recovery and immune health, all factors tied to aging well. So, the practical solution here is to focus on steady, consistent sipping throughout the day. Keep a water bottle with you and take sips every 15-30 minutes. Aim to finish a certain volume by early evening. For example, if your goal is 2 liters or roughly 8 glasses, plan to have consumed the majority of that by 6 or 7 p.m. You can still have small sips in the evening if you feel thirsty, but avoid large volumes. This strategy helps ensure you're well hydrated throughout the day when you need it most, without overloading your system or disrupting your sleep. Think about incorporating water breaks into your daily schedule, just like you might schedule a tea break or a rest break. Set a timer on your phone to remind you to take a few sips every hour. Or, tie it to activities. Before I sit down to read, I'll drink some water. After I finish this chore, I'll have a drink. This makes it less of a chore and more of a natural part of your day's rhythm. Now, moving from the how much at once and when to something equally important, listening to your body, or perhaps more accurately, not ignoring its signals or the lack thereof. This brings us to our fourth mistake, waiting until you feel thirsty to drink. As we discussed earlier, the thirst mechanism becomes less reliable as we age. By the time you feel genuinely thirsty, you are likely already in a state of mild dehydration. And even mild dehydration can impact your energy levels, mood, focus, and physical performance. Imagine your body's hydration level is like the fuel tank in your car. Waiting until the empty light comes on means you're running on fumes. It's much better to refuel when the tank is half empty or even 3/4 full. Similarly, it's best to drink water proactively throughout the day, staying ahead of dehydration, rather than reactively trying to catch up once thirst sets in. This mistake ties directly into the first one, not drinking enough, but highlights the reason why many people don't drink enough. They're relying on a faulty signal. Because your thirst cue might be delayed or weaker, you need to develop the habit of drinking on a schedule or based on triggers, as we just discussed, rather than waiting for the sensation of thirst. This is especially important during activities that might increase fluid loss, like exercising, gardening, or spending time outdoors in warm weather. You might not feel particularly thirsty until after you've finished, but your body has been losing fluids the whole time. Drinking water before, during, and after these activities is crucial, even if you don't feel a strong urge to do so. Overcoming this mistake requires conscious effort to build new habits. It's about overriding the unreliable thirst signal with a planned approach. Keep water accessible. Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine, like brushing your teeth. If you're heading out, always take a bottle of water with you. Even for short trips, seeing the water, having it readily available, makes it much easier to remember to sip proactively. Think of it as preventative maintenance for your body. Just like you wouldn't wait for your car to break down to get the oil changed, you shouldn't wait for signs of dehydration to drink. Finally, let's talk about the fifth mistake, which is often overlooked and can be particularly relevant as we age. Not considering changes in your hydration needs based on your activity level, environment, health status, or medications. Our fluid requirements aren't static. They fluctuate based on many factors. Ignoring these fluctuations means you might be adequately hydrated one day, but fall short the next, depending on what's going on. Let's consider activity level. Even moderate activity like a brisk walk, gardening, or doing housework increases your body's need for water because you lose fluid through sweat. On days you're more active, you absolutely need to drink more than on sedentary days. Failing to increase your fluid intake when you're more active can quickly lead to dehydration, leaving you feeling tired, weak, and more prone to muscle aches or cramps. The environment also plays a big role. Hot and humid weather causes you to sweat more, significantly increasing your fluid loss. Spending time in dry climates, or even in air-conditioned or heated indoor environments, can also subtly increase dehydration as moisture evaporates from your skin and breath. If you travel to a different climate or experience a heat wave, you need to consciously increase your water intake. Even if you're not feeling particularly active, your health status is another critical factor. If you're feeling unwell, especially with a fever, vomiting, or diarrhea, your body loses fluids rapidly. Staying hydrated is absolutely essential for recovery. But it can be challenging if you don't feel like drinking. Sipping on water, electrolyte solutions, or clear broths becomes vital. Even minor illnesses can increase your hydration needs. Furthermore, many medications commonly prescribed to people over 60 can affect fluid balance. Diuretics, often prescribed for high blood pressure or heart conditions, work by increasing urination, which means they increase fluid loss and your need to drink more water. Other medications might have side effects like dry mouth, which is a sign of reduced saliva production and can indicate overall dehydration. If you start a new medication, it's a good idea to ask your doctor or pharmacist if it might affect your hydration needs and how you should adjust your fluid intake. The mistake here is having a one-size-fits-all approach to hydration. Your body's needs are dynamic. The simple action step is to be mindful of these variables and proactively adjust how much you drink. On a hot day, carry a larger water bottle and make a conscious effort to refill it and sip more often, before and after exercising or gardening. Make sure you're drinking extra water if you're feeling under the weather. Focus on small, frequent sips of hydrating fluids throughout the day, even if you don't have much appetite. If you take medications, talk to your doctor about potential hydration impacts. Paying attention to these different factors, activity, environment, health, and medications, allows you to tailor your hydration strategy to your body's actual needs on any given day. It's about being responsive and giving your body the support it needs to function optimally under varying circumstances. This proactive approach is key to preventing dehydration and its associated aging effects. So, you see, it's not just about remembering to drink water. It's about drinking enough, choosing the right kind of fluids, sipping consistently rather than gulping, drinking proactively before thirst sets in, and adjusting your intake based on your daily circumstances. These 5 seemingly simple mistakes: not drinking enough, choosing dehydrating beverages, drinking large amounts at once, waiting for thirst, and ignoring changing needs, can collectively put a significant strain on your body as you age, contributing to fatigue, stiffness, skin issues, digestive problems, and a general feeling of being less vibrant. It might feel like a lot to think about, but honestly, making small, consistent changes to your hydration habits can yield really powerful results. You don't have to go from 0 to perfect overnight. Maybe start by focusing on one mistake at a time. Perhaps this week, your goal is simply to start every morning with a glass of water before anything else. Next week, you might focus on replacing one sugary drink with water. Then, you can work on sipping throughout the day, or carrying a water bottle with you. These aren't monumental tasks. They're manageable tweaks that build upon each other. Remember, your body is incredibly resilient and wants to function well. By providing it with the hydration it truly needs, in the right way, you're supporting its natural ability to stay energetic, keep your skin supple, aid digestion, lubricate your joints, and help all your systems run more smoothly. Think about how much better you feel when you're properly hydrated. Clearer head, more energy, better mood. These aren't just temporary fixes. They contribute to your long-term health and vitality. Please don't feel discouraged if you realize you've been making some of these mistakes. Most people do. The important thing is recognizing them and deciding to make a positive change. Every glass of water you drink mindfully is a step towards feeling better and supporting your body as it ages gracefully. You have the power to make these small, impactful changes right now. We covered making sure you get enough water, avoiding drinks that secretly dehydrate you, the importance of how and when you sip throughout the day instead of chugging, learning to drink proactively even when you're not thirsty because that signal changes, and finally, understanding that your hydration needs aren't fixed but depend on your activity, the weather, your health, and even your medications. Each of these points, when addressed, chips away at the factors that can make you feel older than you are. I'd really love to hear from you. Which of these mistakes resonated most with you? Are there any other hydration challenges you face or tips you found helpful? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights could help others in our community. If you found this video helpful and feel inspired to make some changes, please give it a thumbs up. That tells me I'm creating content that matters to you. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. We share practical, easy-to-follow tips like these every week to help you live your healthiest, happiest life at every age. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you so much for watching and spending this time with me. Remember, small changes can make a big difference in your health and happiness. Keep sipping, stay mindful, and keep living your best life at every age.